Starting a business in 2024 is easier than it ever has been before, and that's because there are so many options available to you. You could start a real-world business like pet sitting, you could become a content creator and tap into the digital nomad life. The possibilities are truly endless. But having all of these different options can leave you up against the paradox of choice. This concept argues that being presented with all of these different options doesn't actually make things easier. In fact, it actually makes the decision-making process more difficult and stressful. Well, in this video, my goal is to get rid of that decision-making anxiety by presenting you with a simple business that anyone can get started with today. I'll be showing you step-by-step how to get up and running with a print-on-demand business using Gelato. For starters, what exactly is print-on-demand? Well, in the past, if you wanted to sell a physical product like a t-shirt or a mug, you would have to do a bulk order and then store all of that merchandise somewhere. Then, as the orders came in, you would have to fulfill those orders yourself one by one. If you sold shirts, for example, you would also have to keep track of your inventory by size, and most likely, you would end up with a ton of one size left over that you would have to clearance. Or even worse, you might not have the best designs right out of the gate, and this could leave you with thousands of dollars worth of inventory that nobody wants. Print on demand essentially eliminates all of those annoyances and makes the business of selling goods and merchandise completely risk-free. Instead of buying all of that inventory up front, with print on demand, your products are made as the orders come in and shipped out immediately. And then, instead of you being the one fulfilling those orders and taking all of those trips to the post office, your packages are automatically shipped right to your customer. But this is not just limited to t-shirts. With Gelato, you can sell all different types of apparel, hats, calendars, wall artwork, phone cases, mugs, greeting cards, and more. Perhaps the best part of this business model is the scalability. It doesn't matter if you get 1 order or 100 orders, it's going to be the same amount of work involved for you. Most businesses out there do not have this benefit. Instead, you'd find yourself working more and more hours as you scaled up the business. And eventually, you would hit a ceiling in terms of what you can do yourself, meaning you would have to hire a team, and then things will get complicated quickly. With print on demand, you can start this business with absolutely nothing, and you can scale it to unlimited heights without bogging yourself down. All you have to do is add more products to your portfolio over time, which you can design right on Gelato, by the way, and then scale up your traffic strategy, such as paid ads. So with that being said, what is the best way to get started with print on demand in 2024? Well, let's go ahead and revisit that paradox of choice lesson from the beginning. With all of the different types of products you can sell using Gelato, it can be a little bit overwhelming at first. My suggestion here is to start with just one product. There are countless examples of successful entrepreneurs who do very well at selling just one thing. If you go off and try to sell a dozen different products at once, you're going to be spreading yourself way too thin. And if you decide to run paid ads for your products, for example, you'd be splitting your ad budget between all of those different products. Not to mention, you'd also be managing a ton of different ads. Start with one product, maybe with a few different designs, and then aim to scale that up to a few grand per month. Once you have your first passive income machine running smoothly, at that point, diversify into other products. Now that we have things narrowed down, let's talk about where you'll actually sell the product that you start out with. Here's one of my favorite things about Gelato. They have built-in direct integrations with leading e-commerce platforms, including Shopify, Etsy, WooCommerce, and more. If you're planning on running your own paid ads, you can set up your own Shopify store, but this is a little bit more advanced, and it's going to come with a monthly subscription that you have to pay for Shopify. A much simpler strategy here is to sell your Gelato print-on-demand products right on Etsy, as there is no subscription, and you can also run paid ads in a much simpler manner. Instead of creating your own advertisements from scratch, with Etsy, you can set a daily budget and simply boost your products to the top of the search results. Let's jump over to Etsy now, that way we can do some market research on what product we're going to sell. Now for this example here, I'm going to search for Pomeranian shirt because I personally have 2 Pomeranians and pet lovers love to show off what types of animals they own, so this is going to give us some ideas for what is currently out there. And there's a ton of different people people selling shirts like this in the range of $20 to $40 per shirt, so there's definitely going to be an opportunity here to sell our own design. Now let's dive into Gelato and I'll show you how to get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is click the link in the description below to get 50% off your first order. Gelato has a wide range of products with over 150 different items. They also have the biggest network of production partners with over 130 local partners in 32 different countries. This allows them to fulfill orders extremely fast as well as maintain a high level of quality control, all while you sit back and run your business from a laptop. In addition, their customer service is top-notch, hence why they've received the best reviews in the industry. Thanks to their hyper-local production, Gelato is able to come in consistently cheaper than competing print-on-demand companies. They also offer a suite of tools for creators right on their platform, such as the Design Maker, which I'll be showing you shortly. And this is all accomplished while keeping sustainability in mind. That's because Gelato optimizes everything to be as efficient as possible with no excess inventory. Here we are inside of my Gelato account, and what we're going to do is click over here on the product catalog, and we're going to navigate over to men's clothing, and as mentioned before, we are going to look into selling a basic t-shirt. There's all different types of t-shirts that you can sell in terms of heavyweight, classic, premium, performance, etc. But we're going to go with this one right here because it's a best seller, and that is the heavyweight unisex crewneck t-shirt. The product itself is around $8 for the shirt and a little bit under $5 for the shipping. So we're going to be in the neighborhood of about $13 to create and ship a shirt to somebody. You also have a lot of customization options here in terms of the different colors that you can choose. So if you wanted to sell shirts of a different color, you could simply change those down here, but do pay attention to how that is going to increase the unit price for those shirts. I'm going to go back here and default this to a plain white shirt. And something else to note here is that Gelato offers both direct-to-garment printing as well as embroidery. Now that is pretty cool, but the embroidery is going to be a bit more expensive. If we toggle over here, it's going to show you the price here jumps up to about $11.84 for the shirt, and the shipping doesn't change. So if you did want to explore those options, you do have that available. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we're just going to go with a direct-to-garment print. We're going to do a large white shirt, and then we're going to click on the Start Designing button to start creating our first design using Gelato. So what I'm going to do is take a funny photo of one of my Pomeranians, and then we're going to make a Pom Dad shirt, and then we're going to go ahead and order that. First, I used the Adobe Express free tool to remove the background of the image, and this is what we're going to be using on the shirt. So from here, all you have to do is click on the middle button here to drop in your image for your design, and it's actually right in here from last time, but if you didn't have that there, you would click on Choose File and then locate that file yourself. So here is that picture of my Pomeranian Mac. We're going to put that right on the middle of the shirt. If you want to resize it, all you have to do is click right here, and then you can make adjustments to how large that image is, but you do want to pay attention to this boundary around the outside. We also want to make sure that it's centered, so you can drag it back and forth to get these grid lines that will show you when your design is perfectly centered. Now I am going to be adding some text, so I do want to move this up a little bit just to leave room down here for our text box, but as far as the image goes, that looks pretty good to me. Now if you wanted to customize this even further, you can add different elements to the back of the shirt, the inner neck, the outer neck, the left sleeve, and the right sleeve, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to keep things simple and just go with a simple design right on the front. Now we're going to add our text here that of course says Pom Dad. So what we're going to do here is navigate over to the text field and click on the Add Text button, and that brings up this text box right here, and you can also customize it with all of these different fonts depending on what type of look that you are looking for. And then we just click and drag that text to put it down below where we want it to be on the shirt, and now we can actually edit the text itself and figure out which font we want to use. After looking at the different fonts, I decided on this one right here, but we do have to make it a little bit larger. So what you can do here is simply hit the plus icons, and you can see the size of that text changing accordingly. So we're going to bump that all the way up as large as possible with it still fitting within those boundaries. So just like that, we have created our design here for a Palm Dad shirt. When you're ready to see what the finished product will actually look like, all you have to do is click on the preview button, and this is going to give you a rendering of exactly how that shirt is going to look once it's actually ordered. And then if you're happy with your design after looking at the preview here, you can click on the X and you can either save this as a template for later, or you can click on this button here to add it to your order, which is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and actually order this shirt myself now, and like I said, if you want to get 50% off your first order, make sure you use the link in the description below when you sign up for Gelato. So what we're going to do is click on the continue to shipping button. I'm going to fill this out and we're going to place that order. So just like that, we have created our own shirt design and placed an order successfully, and if you want to keep track of that, you can see that right within the orders dashboard on the Gelato platform. And we just have to wait for it to come in the mail now, but that won't take long because of the vast network of production partners that Gelato works with. Now from here, all you would need to do is create a free Etsy account and then use the direct integration between Gelato and Etsy to sell your designs on Etsy. According to recent data, about 500 million people visit Etsy every single month, so you'll have this advantage of tapping into a massive digital marketplace. Now, if you're serious about this business, I would recommend ordering at least one of the products yourself. That way you can see what it looks like and possibly take pictures of the actual item in hand. But even that is not necessarily required because Gelato has a mock-up studio that can also be used where you can see images that you can use of the items in your listing without actually ordering them. Now, in addition to the photos for your listing on Etsy, you're also going to need to get a list of your relevant keywords that you should include in your listing. So for that, let's head back over to Etsy and we're going to search for Pomeranian shirt again, and you can actually find these right from your competitors. If we take a look at this listing right here, we can see the following keywords: Pomeranian shirt, Pom shirt, Pommy shirt, gift for Pomeranian owner, etc., etc. You can copy the same keywords and use these yourself in your Etsy listing. And just like that, you're up and running with a print-on-demand business. My package just came in the mail today, so let me open it up now and show you what your customers will experience when they order one of your products. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to click the link in the description below to get 50% off your first order with Gelato. You can click below to watch my video about the best business ideas to run right from your phone, and I hope to see you there.